because Google Forms will grade themselves, which is awesome. That was like a life and time saver. So for their assessments, let me not do Unit 4. That's going to take you through a bunch of different ones. Okay, we'll go Unit 3. So 6th grade through Unit 3 did some shading. And so what I did was set up their like shading questions. And what you can do to make sure that like they're clicking right answers is go into your settings for this and make it a quiz. And what you can do is go ahead and you can choose to release their scores right after they finish, if there's not any short answer or anything. But if they're short answer, I always like do it later after manual review so I can go through and grade their short answer before I let them see their grades, because they will freak out. So you can collect their email addresses, limit to 1 response for quizzes. And sometimes when I do critiques or artwork plans, I let them edit after they submit it. So especially for like an artwork plan, if they're doing that, they can go back and edit it. How do they submit a photo of their work? That's going to be a little harder for me to show you on the teacher view, but what will happen when they open up an assignment in Google Classroom is on the right-hand side, it'll pop up where they can add, and they can choose to add a photo or like a link or a Google Drive document, whatever. So if they either upload the photo into their Google Drive, they can attach it there, or they can use their Chromebook, and they can click photo and it'll let them just take a photo right there and submit it that way. Sorry if I'm missing questions, y'all. I'm trying to split screen it here.
Will you repeat like how they would submit their like a photo of their work?
So yeah, whenever they open up the assignment, so let's say that it was shading techniques or whatever, whenever they click on view assignment, when it opens up for them, it's going to show them on their right hand side. So somewhere over here, it'll say attach or create or something. I think it says create now. They change it all the time. There's a little plus button that says create, and they click that, and it will let them take a photo right there in Google Classroom, or if they have something in their Google Drive, they can upload it from there. So there's kind of a couple different ways they can do that. But if they make like a Google Doc or whatever, they can upload it there and then hit submit.
Okay.
Let's see. So they would submit or attach just depending on which way they decided to go with it. Okay. So in the Google Forms, once you turn it on and make it a quiz, they could, whenever you have your questions set up, you go in and click on your answer key, and you can, oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Computer's freaking out, sorry. Okay. So whenever you click on that question, you can go to your answer key. And so for this one, it was pointillism. So that's the correct answer. But let's say, there was more than one correct answer. You could do that as well. And you can assign point value. So that one was worth 1 point. So you just go through and assign your points, assign your correct answers. So if you do all multiple choice like this one is, this quiz is totally going to grade it for you. And you can you won't even have to touch it, which is super fantastic. And then once your kids have submitted their assessments, another really cool feature of Google Classroom is when you click this view assignment, you can import grades. And it'll actually put in their grades for you. So, and then like this kid submitted but didn't actually complete the assessment. So like at this point, I would send a message to him that says like, hey, you didn't actually fill out the form. Make sure you do the form before you click turn in. So it didn't give him any points because he hasn't done it. So, and then you can just return all those to those kids, and then they'll have their grades. Makes life a little easier when I know like with art classes, we have such a large volume of students, going through and grading individual things is like a nightmare. So yeah, those are just kind of some cool little tricks for Google Classroom.
Real quick, when you say import grades, that's just importing it to a spreadsheet for you. It's not importing it into PowerSchool, correct?
That would be so lovely if it did, but it does not. but it does just import it for you. And what you can do from that point too is actually copy all these grades to a Google Sheet, which is what I typically do. You can see, like, if you can still see me on my screen, this is like my spreadsheet that I was doing grades with yesterday, because our grades were due yesterday. You know, nothing like the last minute. It takes it a minute because it's got so much to put in there. But it will, and it'll save it right in your Google Drive as well. So all of the grades that you have submitted in Google Classroom will just upload right into this, and it'll show you like how many total points there were, what your class average was, all that kind of good fun stuff. So that's another really cool feature. It makes doing grades in PowerSchool a little bit easier too, if you can just see them all listed out for you and you just have to click a button to get them. Google's pretty great. Okay, so to create a Google form, what I do is I have all of my units kind of organized into different folders. Thank you. So for right now, for Art Around the Globe, I don't think I've done their pre-assessment yet because struggle bus. So in here, you can either right click and click on more, and you can see all the things that you can create in here with Google Forms being right there. Or you can click on new and click more, and Google Forms pops up for you right there. So this is what you'll see right at the start. And to make it a quiz, you would click on that little settings button. And I always collect email addresses because, believe it or not, kids don't always spell their name right. Which I'm sure you guys know very well. So you can click on collect email addresses and maybe limit to one response, edit after submit, whatever it is that you guys want to do. There's a few little options as far as presentation, but I usually just leave that alone. And then over here, I usually make it a quiz. And when we're in school, I have this locked mode turned on, which means that they have to be on a Chromebook. They have to be logged in with their JCS email, and that they cannot open up any other tabs while they're, it basically puts them in that screen like in the EOGs where it takes up the whole screen and they can't open anything else while they're doing that. So that's kind of just some test security, like an extra layer. But while they're out, they don't all have their Chromebooks, obviously. Some are using cell phones, some are using PCs, whatever. So I leave that off for now. I also don't let them see their correct answers because I mean like that. So you'll just click save, and then I always have them put in their name first and make that a required question. And you can see right here, though, the answer key says it's worth 0 points right now because I'm not going to assign points for them typing in their name. So you can put in, let's say this is a drawing quiz. And then over here, you click add question. If you have other Google Forms already set up that you want to copy questions from, you can import questions, which will let you choose other Google Forms that you want to pull in questions from. So if I wanted to pull in a shading question, it would pop up over here, and I say I want to put in this question, and it goes on ahead and adds that in there for me. Don't worry, Suzanne, we're recording, so you'll be able to go back.
And those are, you're pulling from questions that you've already done on previous forms, correct?
Yes, these are coming from my forms in my Google Drive. So then you can add like a title, you can add an image. A lot of times when I have kids do art critiques, I put in an image of a painting or a drawing, whatever, and then list the questions below that. You can add videos, you can add that section just takes them, like sometimes I do like a drawing section and then move to a next screen where they're doing shading or whatever. So it just adds those different sections.
Will you make a question where you put it, like just import a picture into it just so I can just watch you do it?
Yeah. So here, let me take this one back out. So let's say I wanted to add an image. Let me see what I've got in my Google Drive. I don't even know. Let's say we wanted to critique this student artwork. So I'm going to import this and we'll title it. And then
she's one of my former students.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She
I
actually
love her so much.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Amazing. So her and her art skills are just amazing.
Yep.
Then I would go in and add questions, describe what you see in the drawing. And I don't know if you noticed what it just did. It started out as a multiple choice, but when I typed in describe what you see, it automatically assumed that they were going to need a paragraph response. So that way it puts in that long answer text for them to be able to type. But there's all different choices here. Literally all kinds of choices. My best suggestion as far as Google Forms is just to get on there and play with them and see, like, you can rank things on a scale, you can do a multiple choice grid, check boxes, all kinds of drop downs. There's all kinds of crazy cool things that it will do. But I usually make all of my questions required, so that way they can't skip questions. Sometimes they don't even realize that they've skipped them, so it will like back them back up, say, hey, you missed this question. But then in my answer key, I'm going to assign it, let's say I want it to be worth 3 points. I can add some answer feedback if I want to, which could be a video. So sometimes, like, if they get it wrong and it was a drawing technique or whatever, I can link in a video that says, go back and watch this video since you missed this question, kind of thing. And that'll help them go back and relearn. Can you pull from your photos? What type of photos are you talking about, Suzanne? Yeah, so you can, whenever you click on photos, you can also do a Google image search, and all the like approved ones will happen from your phone. Yeah, you can upload here. So what I usually do from my phone is just upload them into my Google Drive. So like with this one, I just uploaded it into my Google Drive and just pulled it from there. Okay, so then when they answer that question, I'll have to go back. It'll count it wrong at first since it's a long answer text, but I'll go back in and assign points for whatever their response was. So those are kind of the basics. You can change the theme of it and make it all pretty. You can choose an image, do all kinds of fun stuff. So like that's the one I think on our Google Classroom for Art PLC. So you can change themes of it. But yeah, and then when you're ready to send it to the kids, you can copy the link. I usually just copy the link for them, or I can go into Google Classroom, and when I click, do you have to download or can you just pull from photos like Mac? You should be able to, because whenever you click on add a photo, you can upload, and that should like take you into your computer's stuff. So like if I wanted to add that artwork in there that was just on my computer, it will let me do that too. So yeah. To add it from Google Classroom, you would click create an assignment. And then I'm going to add from my Google Drive. And since I was just in that one, it's going to pop up right here in my recents. So it's not, okay. So if I wanted to add that one, I could add it in here. Making sure that grade importing is turned on so that whenever they fill it out, those grades will just upload when I click import grades. And then over here, just choosing which students, what grade category, the due date, the topic, all that stuff. So that's just kind of how you get it into your Google Classroom to upload it there. And that's what I've done with all of mine here. So whenever they click on it, it'll pop up right here and they just click on that and fill it out. So yeah, that's the basics of Google Forms. I'm getting those to grade for you. I'm going to do a video on how to make them differentiated based on answers. Unit 4, since they were choosing different mediums and they were staying on that one pathway, this is just an example of what they would do. So let's say they chose graphite and they click next, and it's going to make me put my name in. It's going to take them to the graphite section. Whereas like if they actually chose oil pastels, it would take them to the oil pastel section. So there's ways to make it send you through different ways of the Google Forms. I won't overwhelm you with all that right now though, but I will do a video